Ever hear the one about the frog? Put a frog in a pot of boiling water and it'll jump right out.
Here's my resume.
But put a frog in a pot of cool water and slowly heat it up, and that frog will boil. It's a lie. But as a metaphor for us and all that we go through as veterans,
Real world experience.
it's a story that rings true. We make excuses for how we feel. We push everything down. We tell ourselves the lie that it's easier to stay in that boiling water, to disconnect. And some days, maybe, it is. But you've never been interested in easy. Reaching out is hard. Do it anyway. You're not alone. You've got this. You are not a frog.
Find resources at va.gov/reach.
I'm Ryan Newman, and since I started with Indiana Donor Network and Driven to Save Lives, I found out that some people think that they can't be an organ donor. The truth is, anyone can sign up to be an organ donor.
Anyone?
Anyone?
Are you sure?
Yeah, I'm sure. Anyone can sign up to be an organ donor. So don't count yourself out because somebody's counting on you. Go to driventosavelives.org and sign up today.
But my heart's going to you, Ryan.
Love that shirt.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another edition of Spec Corvette Racing. The mountains of Southern California looking a little bit smoggy today, but this is very cool. We are getting ready to head down grid side. Let's pick up the camera from John Wynn, and man, we are here on the grid ready to go for day number 2 of the Spec Corvette Series. My name is Chris Graham with the National Racing Network. It is a pleasure to have you joining us this afternoon. James Watson joining me in the booth. Cars are starting to roll off here, James. And, man, we saw some fantastic racing.
We did. We saw a lot of great action, and we're going to see a lot more today. The grid is a little more kind of discombobulated compared to what we saw yesterday. So we'll be seeing a lot of comers and goers. These are going to be some really action-packed 15 minutes.
Yes, let's pick up the onboard view here with Josh Carroll and show you the starting grid for today's race. Oli Thordarson setting quick time. He's going to line up alongside of Steve Libby on the front row. Marc Lacorte and Craig Dale on row number 2. Yesterday's 2 race winners going to start nose to tail here for race 1. Josh Carroll and Donnie York on row number 2. Evan Gold and Patrick Howe on row 4. Kevin Michaels, Darren Griffith on row 5, Kevin Jones and Greg Nestor on row number 6. John's doing the run here. He's trying to get up on top of the building to give us the view of the start-finish line. Following along here. Here, let's bring John in. John, what are you thinking here, bud? This one's going to be fun. All right, James, this one, we're looking forward to this one in a pretty big way here. Man, what are we thinking as we get ready to roll, James? A lot of action like we saw yesterday, and quite frankly, this has the potential to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, I'm going to be expecting some more 3-wide action here going into 1 and 2. You know, Marc is starting third. He's going to want that lead back. He's going to want to try to avenge the end of yesterday's race 2. So I look forward to see what he's going to do.
Field making their way off of turn number 21. Take a look here as we get ready to go green. Field doubled up. The alignment looks very nice here. Green flags in the air. We're underway at the Auto Club Speedway. Tails hopping out a little bit. We're on board with Evan Gold as they head off to turn 1.
Looked like he launched out of a rocket. What a jump coming around the outside.
Pick up Josh Carroll as he makes his way off of NASCAR 2 Oval. The road course is turn 2 as well.
Oh, let the chaos begin.
Man, this is absolutely intense watching these guys follow their way through here. Oh, we've got one big-time smoker here up in front of Evan Gold.
Someone's smoking.
That looked like
a whole lot of lockup.
Yeah, that was the 35. That was Josh Carroll. Let's go on board with him here.
Yeah, he's lost a lot of time to the lead pack.
Go right back here. Evan Gold. These guys going to be side by side with each other. Yes, well, let's see. Evan's camera looks like it's kind of going to bed on us a little bit here. Let's pick up Josh Carroll's camera. He's following in behind the 37 off at 2. Once again, making their way back towards turn 3.
Whoa!
Ooh! That's getting a little spicy. Sounded like possibly a little bit of contact.
Yeah, just a little bit of a nudge on the 37. Great save.
Let's go side by side here with these guys. On the left-hand side, we have Josh Carroll. Right-hand side, Evan Gold. This is all in the same battle. Oli Thordarson, still your race leader. Go back on board here with Josh Carroll.
Chris, can you hear me?
Yep, we got a copy on you, bud.
Got it, I'm back. Sorry, I had a technical difficulty there.
We're seeing the same technical difficulties kind of stuff, by the way, on our end here. Timing and scoring is, once again, not playing nice here, so we'll get that up on the screen for you here in just a second, folks.
No problem. So, just to call the race, we've got Oli Thordarson out front with Steve Libby taking the inside in second place, taking a look there. Then you have Marc, Lacorte, yesterday's race 1 winner, right behind Steve Libby. These guys just ran all within tenths of each other in qualifying. So you got Craig Dale right behind him, all packed up, going wide into turn 3 and 4, bunching it up there, and still maintaining position here. So Oli Thordarson still out front. Then behind, you got Patrick Howell just took a big off, and he's waiting for traffic to go by. You got Evan Gold, Kevin Michaels, Darren Griffith, and Patrick just jumped back on with Kevin Jones right behind him.
Yeah, that was a big mistake. That's the last place you want to make a mistake is right there on this track. He is well out of it now.
Patrick Howell's in the tail end of this thing, but he's still not in last place, though. I believe he's still in 8th place there, right in front of, I believe, Greg Nestor. So he's trying to pick up some spaces here, but Oli Thordarson still out front, in front of Steve Libby. These guys are just going at it for the 1, 2, 3 position here, with Oli Thordarson, yesterday's race 2 winner, leading the pack of these incredibly fast cars, all running in the minute 46, 47 all day, and having a fantastic run at this course. See if Oli Thordarson can actually hold on to his lead and make it another win for today. Coming around the bend here, back onto the straightaway, these cars will reach about 155, 160 miles an hour before they turn into turn 2. Oli Thordarson taking a defensive line on the lower left to create a non-passing zone there. These guys got nothing for him there. They're up on Steve Libby's going high, and see if he's going to try to make the pass with Marc Lacorte tucking it in low. And let's see what ends up happening there. Steve Libby's got a run on Oli Thordarson. I don't know if he's got enough to make it. And he's fiddling around him right now, and he might have it, but not enough. Oli took the defensive line, took the inside, and was unable to make the pass. Great move by Oli Thordarson, but now he's got to defend that position here. And Steve Libby now loses one position to Marc Lacorte.
And by the way, this is absolutely huge having you helping on the play-by-play today here, John, because we don't have cameras in either Oli Thordarson or Marc Lacorte like we did yesterday. So we don't have a look at the front of the field here right now.
No problem. I can take care of that. So Oli Thordarson pulling a gap here going into 7 and 8. Turn 7 and 8 with Marc Lacorte just behind him going into the 180 now. And coming out around the bend here, I'll take a look if any position changed here. But these cars are moving, and these are the top contenders for the podium position. Oli Thordarson coming out still in first place. Marc Lacorte, second place. Steve Libby, third place. Craig Dale, our 2021 national champion, in 4th place this week. And not having a great weekend for Craig Dale, but he's looking to get on that podium.
Going back on board here with Josh Carroll. Seeing one of the comments here from, Tracy Carroll, asking what happened with Josh. Looked like it may have just been lighting the tires up into turn 3 is what the smoke we saw earlier was. Car seems okay. Doesn't seem like it's down on power at all.
Going to the straightaway here, you got Steve Libby on the side. So that was it. The race right there. Oli Thordarson in position 1, Marc Lacorte P2, Steve Libby P3, and Craig Dale P4. Fantastic race there. Trying to find the other guys here. Looks like Josh Carroll P5, Kevin Michaels P6, and Evan Gold P7. I believe that's what it is from a distance here. So what we're going to do is we're going to stop the race for a few minutes, reset, and run another 15-minute sprint race. So you see these cars pull over and wait next to the flag station, let the cars cool for a moment, regroup the entire race group, and they're going to go another 15 minutes.
Already 4 very quick laps in the books. Oli Thordarson getting the win over Marc Lacorte, Steve Libby, Craig Dale, and Josh Carroll, your top 5. Rest of the field on this one going to be Kevin Michaels, Evan Gold, Darren Griffith, Patrick Howell, Greg Nestor, and Kevin Jones. Back through the 11th position. Donnie York unable to make the grid here for race number 1. Going back on board here now with Josh Carroll. Let's pick up the 98 of Kevin Michaels. Kevin currently running into 6th position.
Nice, he's got a good camera. That's good.
So James, we've seen a little, we've heard a lot. No real surprises here. Oli Thordarson's fastest lap of the race, getting the win in race 1. Marc Lacorte's going to be there for race 2. What are we thinking kind of the rest of the day is going to shape up like here? We've only got 15 more minutes. If you're Steve Libby or Craig Dale, it's pretty much go time.
Yeah, you can't wait any longer, or you've got to go. Like, we only have like around 2 to 3 laps left.
Yeah, basically. 15 minutes at, get about probably 6 in, I would guess here, but Field's going to get ready to go back to green flag racing here. Everybody woed down, pull the cars off. And John, how important is that for the spec nature of this series to have the ability to kind of cool things down and just chill out for a moment?
Well, that was one of the points I was just about to bring up, was that some of these guys really have to do tire management to really, get themselves in a position for, the last few laps of a win. So this here race is going to be, who managed their tires best. Their tire pressures are super high right now. Their engines are hot. One of our new racers that has done really well, Steve Libby, in the orange and white car from Briggs Racing. He's a chronic, everyday endurance driver. So he's really good at managing tires, managing the car, and making sure the car lasts. So I think what he was doing is playing it a little bit safe today and letting whatever happened happen in the first race and not push it too much. But he's going to turn it on in the second race because he saved his tires. So I know those guys really well. They're excellent racers, and I think that's what you're going to see today. So I'm gonna guess that Steve is going to turn it on, and you're probably going to see him probably on the podium is what my guess would be. Marc Lacorte drove the tires off the car. He's doing great today. But let's see if he's got any tires left. I know at the end of the race yesterday, he had no brakes, no tires left. So tire management, brake management is going to be a big factor in how this is going to finish. So Oli Thordarson, yesterday's winner, wins again today. Excellent run for him. He had just put a new engine in his car, and he's been down about 25 horsepower over the last season. So now with that extra horsepower, we're seeing Oli come up on top. So he's been generally last year about a position 2 or 3 podium winner. And now with the fresh motor making full 380 horsepower, you're going to see him do well again. So these guys are coming around. I'll turn it over to you guys.
All right, buddy. Yeah, let's take a look back on board here with Evan Gold. Kevin Michaels made a heroic effort to recover his camera. His camera fell, as did Darren Griffith. So we're down to 2 onboard cameras, and then our front stretch and side cameras here. But field getting ready to go here. Once again, lined up off of turn 21. Swap it up here. Go on board with Josh Carroll, and field once again making their way down the front stretch. We will see the green flag go back in the air here momentarily. Green flag's in the air. We are underway once again, and Carroll already making the big move, trying to get to the inside. Man, those cars look and sound spectacular out here.
A little less chaotic than the start of the last race, but this is still looking crazy.
Thus far, everybody playing nice and clean.
So coming into the carousel area here, you got side-by-side Oli Thordarson with, I believe, it's Steve Libby right behind. Again, the top 3 are coming through again, side-by-side. It's going to be a critical...
Yeah, they're not playing around on this opening lap.
Oh, looks like we had. So we've now got a sideways view here out of Josh Carroll's camera. So we're going to be on board here. Oh, there we go. Josh's camera correcting itself, which is always nice.
Yeah, we got one of those special gyroscopic cameras,
yes,
like we see on some of the NASCAR broadcasts, where it tilts in the corner, kind of, sort of.
Yes.
tell you, it really looked like Josh Carroll was close to murdering a couple cones.
Let's take a look here. We can go on board with Josh as he heads down the front straightaway. Oh, big move down to the inside by Evan Gold. That was a huge run. One of the cars big time off the pace in the middle of turn 1 and 2.
Yeah,
Tell you what, Josh Carroll's
rocket right there.
Yeah, I was going to say Josh Carroll is too here because he is caught right back up to the bumper of the 66 of Steve Libby. Libby thought about having to move on Marc Lacorte.
You guys got me? This is John.
Yep, we got you now, bud.
So one thing about Josh Carroll, he's our 2020 and 2019 and 21, West Coast region champion. So he is no slouch. He's just had a lot of issues over the weekend with his engine. Brand new build. It's down 35 horsepower from optimized. So he's fighting as best he can to stay up there. But he is one of the fastest drivers in Spec Corvette racing. And to do this well, being 35 horsepower down is an absolute testament to his driving. So good hats off to Josh Carroll there. So if you see him make some moves, he is a veteran driver. He is one of our top drivers in the series and has won the championship twice.
He's showing it because I've noticed he's able to go a lot deeper in a lot of the braking zones than the cars around him.
Yeah, this
Correct.
is where
that's got to be his strategy.
This is where being 35 horse down is really going to hurt you out on the front straightaway.
Absolutely.
But with that
so
being
right now,
said,
he's getting pulled on, but he's going to brake super late and turn in and change his driving style in order to get some momentum into that car because he's down on power.
and in fact, we can even see going on board here with Evan Gold. Evan able to make up a lot of ground through turns 1 and 2. 155 miles per hour is what they're entering turn 1 at, and they're carrying a $140 through turns 1 and 2. That's a ton of space to be giving up if you're Josh Carroll. However, here's the chance to make it up in the infield twisty section, especially as we start to get down towards the playground.
Yeah, this would be one of my least favorite tracks because the time is made up absolutely in turn 2 at 155 miles an hour. It comes down to who's got the biggest cojones to stay in it and stay in it longer. And that's going to determine your lap time after the track.
One of the things that we saw yesterday, John, and maybe you can comment on, leaders caught the Spec Miatas pretty quickly in race 2. Looks like the spacing is significantly better today compared to what we saw yesterday.
Correct. Yeah, so we had that discussion in the race meeting today that we caught so many of the lap drivers. So what they did is they tightened up the pack quite a bit during the start so that they were right off the bumpers off the Corvettes, so they had less lag time and less ability for us to come catch them in the next round. So it looks like that strategy has worked. So we'll see within another 10 minutes. I don't think they're going to be able to catch lap traffic, but that will be a problem if that happens. Coming around the front straightaway, you got Oli Thordarson still out front. With Marc Lacorte, got a pretty good run on him, but I don't think he's got enough to make it happen. Steve Libby in 3rd place. Josh Carroll still hanging on to 4th place. Evan Gold now 5th place, number 37. Patrick Howell, 6th place, doing great this weekend. Then we have Greg Nestor, and then Darren Griffith right behind him.
Get to the timing and scoring up on screen here real quick.
Sure, going in 3 and 4 here, a heavy braking zone from 150 to about 30 miles an hour. The cars bunch up. Oli Thordarson's out there. Marc Lacorte with the yellow car right behind him, and Steve Libby still tailing in 3rd place there, trying to make it happen for the first opening season race for them, for Briggs Racing, to have a good podium standing.
This 5-6 double apex corner can be very tricky, and it leads out onto one of the big gapping opportunities here for your 3 leaders. However, you're very quickly to the 7-8 complex, and then you're through the closing radius turn 9. Really a spot here that we can see Josh Carroll make up some time.
Absolutely. You're using momentum for that car to keep it going as fast as you can and make up for the lost time in the straightaways. Going into the last chicane area there, you have Oli Thordarson with Marc right on his bumper. Still not enough to make it happen there. I'm surprised that these guys are still holding their positions as well as they are, with Oli Thordarson out front still leading this race as well as winning last. So pretty impressive drive for him and an impressive weekend overall.
I tell you what,
back onto the front straightaway.
James, this really seems like one of those situations where Steve Libby could be trying to save the tires a little bit here, because we've still got 10.5 minutes left to go in this one.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking too. Like, it's kind of turning into what we normally see on Thursday nights with the virtual stuff and the PM18 strength field, is that you're just chilling and riding. Like, there's still a lot of time left in this race. There's no real need to really push it. It just kind of take a rest, take a breath, save your tires, and then the last few laps try to make a move, especially with here where you can just sit in the draft for most of the lap.
By the way, the counter is climbing up here, so we've only got about 3 minutes and 30 seconds or so left to go. By my count, should be about 2 laps then, maybe here, John. If you're going to move, you got to get going here if you're at the front.
Absolutely. So he's got about 1 lap to go. I think we'll come around and see the white flag here. So let's see if Steve Libby turns it on, or he's already given it what it's got. But Marc Lacorte is certainly not short of trying, that's for sure. Marc Lacorte blows the turn.
Oh, this is going to be a big catch-up moment here. There's the move.
Might have second place coming out.
Libby gets past Lacorte through the playground.
Big mistake by Marc Lacorte. Blew the turn, and Steve Libby was able to capitalize. White flag is waving. Steve Libby is in the hunt, last lap of the race. He's got a lot of room to make up for here, but if he can stay in it a little bit longer than Oli Thordarson, he might have a chance, but he's got some work to do. Really impressive drive for Steve Libby this weekend.
Yeah, I don't think he's going to be close enough to make a move on Oli right now.
Oh, man, he was so close.
Yeah.
Lacorte way deep into turn 3. He is right up on the bumper of Libby as they get off of 4.
Libby is closing in a little bit on Oli Thordarson. He's dropped it down to about a 4 or 5 car length lead here coming into the hairpin turn. Oli Thordarson, a veteran driver, is trying to keep his cool.
I don't think they're going to catch him, but there are Miatas not far in front of your race leaders you see coming out of turn 9 there.
That's going to be a problem. We are in the lap traffic right now in the last lap. Unbelievable. So, looks like Steve Libby is still right behind Oli Thordarson lap traffic. This is going to be a problem. It may work or it may not work out for Oli Thordarson, but Steve Libby is able to take advantage of this with this Miata lap traffic here. He's going to back it up and then give it a run and try to beat Oli Thordarson to the checkered flag. I guarantee you that's what he's going to do.
Field is on the front stretch coming.
And he gets it. Steve Libby goes around it. Exactly what I thought was going to happen. Wow.
Wow.
Run.
Incredible.
Yes.
How about 1/10 of a second separating Steve Libby from Oli Thordarson at the finish?
Give me the thumbs up, guys. This is Steve Libby's crew right here. They're happy. They worked all weekend for that. Absolutely earned it. There you go. All right, I'm going to head down.
What a fantastic race. 1/10 of a second separating Steve Libby from Oli Thordarson at the line. Marc Lacorte finished third by 0.4 of a second.
How about that,
Absolutely
Mr. Home?
crazy.
A photo finish.
All right, if you guys can cut to me, we got Bob Briggs, the team owner, right here. Bob, we're live right now with that win. How do you feel? That was what you built these cars for. Unbelievable run we had. So, yep, that traffic could have worked out or not, but that absolutely worked out for you guys. So congratulations, Bob. That was fantastic. So Bob Briggs, builder of 2 Spec Corvettes, and brought them both here this weekend, and got a couple podium wins, and finally took a first place over the weekend here. So well worth the effort they put into the weekend, prepping their car and get it done, getting it out here late Friday night, and they were able to walk away with a last-second win. So we're going to walk away over here to the scales area and do some driver interviews once they come in.
Yeah, following along here, we'll pick up Evan Gold. He's tailing behind a couple of the Miatas on their way in. John is heading to the scales, as is Kevin Messig. Thank you very much, Kevin, for being our Turn 9 camera operator today. Man alive, what a finish at the line. Kind of what Spec Racing is all about here.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
Put it in the driver's hand. Like, this gave Steve Libby an opportunity to show off his skill, and man, going from third to first in basically the last lap and a quarter of the race. That is just phenomenal driving. And what a way to end the weekend.
Absolutely. Yep. So what had happened, and I knew what was going to happen, was that lap traffic was going to cause Oli Thordarson to slow down. So as soon as Libby saw that, he backed up a little bit, was able to get a run coming out of the corner. And look at these guys, the winners right here. Look at this, Bob Briggs, the team owner with the Spec Corvette Racers coming in. Cool as a cucumber. There it is, a race winner for race 4 of the weekend. Oli Thordarson race 3 winner. We're going to do the scales right now. Do some driver interviews. That was good.
Man, I tell you what, James, is there much more that we can ask for in especially what you would call a gentleman's racing series? These guys are not pros by any stretch of the imagination.
I mean, they kind of looked the part. We saw a lot of great overtaking, a lot of great racing, no real mistakes, no cars getting nuked, just really good, clean racing. Like you said, you cannot ask for more. This is exactly what we hoped we'd see.
In a very, very big way. Let's see. We'll pick up Kevin Missig's camera here as he's over out by the 73 machine of Marc Lacorte. Lacorte had about the best view in the house for that. The uncharacteristic mistake entering the playground section turns, it's like 15 to 21, basically, is the last kind of loop around section like we described as the fountain area at Long Beach yesterday. And then it loops out onto the front straightaway. Very uncharacteristic to see Marc Lacorte miss the corner entry there. That opened the door for Libby to get to second. And then the big move on Oli Thordarson out of turn 21. Drag race to the line. And the race win goes to Steve Libby.
Didn't we see him make a similar mistake at that exact part of the track yesterday in race 2 that helped Oli get the lead?
I think it was, if I'm remembering correctly anyway. The 22 of...
You mentioned he was having brake issues at that point. I wonder if those same issues came back to haunt him again.
Oh, sounds like They got to re-zero the scales here. Oli Thordarson got up on the scales, and it was nowhere close to what the number was supposed to be. So they're going to back him off and then get the scales re-zeroed. So once we get the drivers through tech here, we'll chat up our race winners. Race number 1 going to Oli Thordarson by 1 second over Marc Lacorte. It was pretty much a photo finish for second in race 1. Lacorte and Steve Libby crossing the line, tenth and a half apart from each other. Craig Dale, Josh Carroll rounding out the top 5 in race number 1. Here in race 2, Steve Libby the winner officially by 0.106 seconds. Marc Lacorte going to come home third, a half second back. Josh Carroll, Evan Gold completing the top 5. Patrick Howe, Darren Griffith, Greg Nestor, Kevin Jones back through the 9th position. And in 10th place will be the 79 of Craig Dale. By the way, Josh, if you can hear us, it sounds like we have a two-way radio system that is coming through on your matching frequency here. So there's Oli Thordarson's car up on the scales. A pretty intent look here at the readout on the scales. So Oli Thordarson is good 61 pounds over the required minimum.
I gotta say, it's really neat to see this behind the scenes look, if you will, watching the tech and seeing all these cars go through it.
Yeah, that's one of the important things here too, James, is that they're not only going to weigh the cars after the race, but there is the potential for a full tech to be done on these cars. So take a look at the specs here on the Spec Corvette Series. Minimum 3,200 pound weight. The power is maximized at 380 horsepower at the rear wheels. Basically what that means is they can take your car and dyno it at any time, and you better not make more than 380 horsepower when you get to the rear wheels. We'll swap over here and pick up the camera from Kevin Messig. Woo! That's tight. Hearing, we can hear John's camera in our ear here. We don't have him going out over the broadcast feed right now, but 3,204 pounds was the weight on the 66 machine. That's how you get it done there, buddy. Optimization at its finest.
Yeah, no kidding. like F1 levels of weight reduction.
So your race winner has cleared the scales. That will make things official for Steve Libby. Oli Thordarson has cleared as well. Next up on the scales will be the 73 of Marc Lacorte. Set the fastest lap of the race on lap number 3 at a 1 minute 49.828. I absolutely love the Corvette yellow. Very
It's
much the
gorgeous.
factory color. It's just pretty. Now, some of our viewers may be familiar with in the dirt world. You kind of pull off the racetrack, you just pull up onto the scale pad, they give you an instant look at the number, and then everybody's down and away pretty quickly. There's not a scale pad here at Auto Club Speedway. It's not something that would ordinarily be done at a racetrack of this size. The thumbs up here from John Wynn. Car looks good on the scales. So we've got John over here. He's going out to pick up our race winner. So keeping up here with what's going on, just waiting for our race winner here. Let's, we'll see. John, do you have a copy on us? No, not off of your device. Yes, that is correct. So you guys are going to have to get nice and tight and cozy with each other here, but we'll crank them all the way up. You should be good. Go ahead.
Two races this weekend? 4 races, 2 wins, 2 seconds. 2 wins. Absolutely fantastic job. I could not believe that last move Steve put on you. Yeah. Tell me all about it.
Yeah, I mean, I felt like I had a control of the first race, finished in first. I mean, people were challenging, so I don't want to make it sound like it was a cakewalk. I had to drive smart, not make mistakes, and defend, and I did all that real well. Second race, I was doing all of that, and then we caught lap traffic on the last lap, the last 2 turns, and I tried to time a run out to get around a lapper, and Steve timed it just a little bit better. And after leading every lap, I think, of every race, literally in the last 150 feet, and about the last second and a half of the race, I lost it. I led everything up until the last second and a half before the finish line because the bastard had great timing.
Absolutely. And I saw that coming from a mile away. Yeah. As that Miata was going into that last chicane area, I knew Steve was going to back it up a little bit. It would slow him down, and he would power through that.
So I got a little too close, and then I waffled on which direction to take on him. Got on the gas, and by then Steve had to run. Good job, buddy. Good job. Great timing. Yeah.
Fantastic.
You crossed it when you crossed the finish line when it counted.
Yeah. Thank you, Oli Thordarson. Fantastic weekend for you.
Thank you.
That was a great race. So Steve Livy, congratulations. First weekend racing with Spec Corvette and a win. How about it? How does it feel?
It was pretty exciting, man. I gotta say, I had a blast.
Great.
Very competitive and great competition.
So let's tell us. So coming from outside of with endurance racing, years and years of racing, how do you feel the competitors are in Spec Corvette?
Competitive? Oh, very. Everything happens so much faster. You've got 6 laps to make it all happen. I drive 3-4 hours. It's a lot slower, and you take a lot of care. With this, you just got to go 11-10s all the time.
Right. There's no really reason to stay tired.
There's no saving anything. There's no handing it off to the next driver. You got to get it done quickly.
Excellent. So first weekend in, you got a win. Fantastic. Any sponsors or anybody you'd like to thank?
Yeah, I'd like to thank Briggs & Bill for building a great car, and Bob for having faith in me to come out and try one out for a weekend. My crew was back in the garage.
Excellent. Well, fantastic run. And a
Thanks for having
fantastic first weekend. Clean run, race win, gymnastics.
Can't wait to come back and try it again.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Congratulations. All right, guys. That's all we've got. Driver from Spec Corvette Racing, fantastic weekend of racing. Clean, no contact. Only had one engine failure, which is great. Not that it happens all the time, but that's something that, tours the field sometimes, but we had a great weekend. Fantastic racing. Oli Thordarson, Steve, Marc, Lacorte, 3 race winners throughout the weekend. Had a great time. So back to you guys in the office.
All right, buddy. Thank you very much, sir. And man alive, that was fun. We'll pick up the camera here. We got one of the Spec Miatas going through tech, and time for us to get ready to go here, James. There's so much that we could talk about here about this one, but the reality is, for our first weekend handling the broadcast for the Spec Corvette Series, this was a lot of fun, and got to see some and hear some really cool cars.
Yeah, I just had a blast calling everything and watching everything. This was incredible. Well, what we're doing here is pretty damn cool, and we got to see some absolute bangers of races put on.
Yes, we did. It was a lot of fun for us to bring it to you, and hopefully these guys will have us back for some more, and quite frankly, we want to turn things up a notch too. We got to get some man cameras out here at these racetracks so we can see all the way around, follow the leaders, and take things. Let's turn the broadcast up to 11 for these guys, because the Spec Corvette Series is pretty darn cool. We're looking forward to a lot more of it, but with that, it is time for us to get the heck on out of here. For James Watson, John Wynn, and everybody here at the National Racing Network that helps make these broadcasts possible, my name is Chris Graham. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. We will talk to you all soon. Have a great night, everybody.